Coming to the third part and the most important part of my Bombay display this year. This year's theme is the handloom heritage of India. We have tried to cover most of the states in our country. Our country, India, has a vast and rich cultural heritage. I have tried my best to portray our colorful country to the best of my capability. During the video, please follow the pointer. This is the handloom map of India, showing the various textiles or fabrics of our country. Starting from the first state, Jammu and Kashmir. This is the Pashmina Shawl, which is very famous in Jammu and Kashmir. That is the Vaishno Devi temple. These are some of the jewelry which are famous to Jammu and Kashmir. Coming to the second state, Himachal Pradesh, which is famous for Kullu shawls. That is the famous Himachal apples. That bracelet is a traditional bracelet which is very dear to me. It was brought from Sikkim by my brother-in-law almost 30 years ago and gifted to me. So this is the second state, Himachal Pradesh. Coming to the third state, Uttar Pradesh, which is famous for the chicken curry work. Also, Ayodhya, the birthplace of Rama, and the Taj Mahal, one of the 7 wonders of the world, our famous Taj Mahal. That is some of the jewelry which is typical of Uttar Pradesh. Coming to the state of Punjab, the fabric famous there is the Fulkari sari. That is the Golden Temple at Amritsar. Those are a pair of typical Punjabi dolls. That is the jewelry typical of Punjab. Coming to the state of Rajasthan. Rajasthan is famous for the mirror or the shisha work. Shisha work is done on dolls. That's a typical Rajasthani decked up doll. Rajasthan is famous for the Nathdwara Krishna temple. It's also famous for pottery. Now coming to the state of Gujarat. The typical fabric there is the Bandhani sari. That's a pair of Gujarat dolls decked up. That's the jewelry typical of Gujarat. Now coming to the state of Odisha or Orissa. Orissa is famous to the Varli sari, also the famous Sun Temple of Konark and the Puri Jagannath Temple. These are the dolls which are used during the Rath Yatra at the Puri Jagannath Temple. This is the jewelry, some of the jewelry which is famous or traditional to the Odisha state. Coming to the state of Assam, the fabric or the textile famous for Assam is the Tussar silk. The Kamakya Devi temple is a very famous temple of Assam. Assam is also famous for the cane work which is traditionally made in Assam. That is some of the jewelry which is traditional to the Assam. Now coming to the state of Nagaland. Nagaland is famous for the Nagaland shawls, also for the Dokra artwork. This is another Dokra artwork, a bullock art. This is the jewelry which is famous or traditional to the Nagaland state. Now coming to the state of West Bengal. West Bengal is famous for the fabric, the Kantha work. The Durga Puja at Calcutta is world famous, as we know. These are some of the dolls, the Calcutta dolls, very famous Calcutta dolls. That is the chuda or the bangles which are used by women during the Durga Puja. That is the sindoor kela during the Durga Puja, where women apply sindoor to each other, is world famous and a very famous tradition too. Now coming to the state of Telangana. Telangana is famous for the Pochampalli sari. That is some of the jewelry which is traditional to the Telangana state. This is the Bhadrachala Rama temple, which is very famous in the Telangana state. That is also a Rama set to depict the Bhadrachalam Rama temple. Coming to the state of Andhra Pradesh. Andhra Pradesh is famous for the fabric, the Kalamkari sari. It's also famous for the Tirupati Balaji temple, also the Ahobala Narasimha temple, also the Nandyal Mahanandi temple is famous in Andhra Pradesh. That is the Palamner pottery. Palamner is a place in Andhra Pradesh which is famous for pottery. That's the pottery of Palamner. Coming to the state of Maharashtra. Maharashtra is famous for the Nawari sari, the Shirdi Sai Baba temple, the Kolhapur Mahalakshmi temple, and the Siddhi Vinayak Ganesha temple. That is some of the jewelry traditional of Maharashtra. This is coming to the state of Kerala. That is the traditional Kasavu sari, tradition of Kerala. That is the Guruvayur Krishna temple. Those are the elephants which are used in the Trishur Puram. That is the snake boat which is used at Onam in Kerala. That is some of the jewelry traditional to Kerala. Coming to the state of Tamil Nadu. The textile or sari traditional to Tamil Nadu is the Kanjivaram sari. That is the famous Tanjavur Talayati Bomme or the famous Tanjavur doll. That's some of the jewelry typical of Tamil Nadu. Those are the temple jewelry, what is called. That is the Srivaliputtur Andal and the Srirangam Ranganathar. Coming to the state of Madhya Pradesh. The textile typical of Madhya Pradesh is the batik print and the bag print. The temple famous in Madhya Pradesh is the Mahakaleshwar Jyotirlinga. Coming to the state of Bihar. The fabric typical to Bihar is the Bagalpuri silk. In Bihar, the Mahabodhi temple at Bodh Gaya is the most famous. Now coming to our state Karnataka, we have divided into North Karnataka and South Karnataka. Typical to the northern parts of Karnataka is the Ilkal sari with the famous Kasuti work. That is the Mantralaya. And this is the Kudala Sangama. Now coming to the southern part of Karnataka, that's the South Karnataka. The fabric typical of the southern parts of Karnataka is the Mysore silk sari. That is the Srirangapatna temple. That is a famous Kurgi or the Kodava Jodi. These are the famous Chanpatna dolls. That is the famous Narsimha Swami temple at Melkote. That is the Tondanur lake or the Tondanur Kere, and the Ramanujacharya statue at Tondanur. So that was a walkthrough of the main theme of this year's Dasara display. हमारा देश बहुत ही रंगीला है ना? हमारा देश रंगीला. So I have tried to cover all the states and our rich cultural heritage to the best of my capabilities. These are the dolls which are very, very dear to me. I've tried to depict Priyanka enjoying her time with her two immediate cousins. That's Priyanka and her cousins. Beautiful dolls, aren't they? So that covers a major part of the virtual tour of my Gombe or the Golu display. Please keep watching the space for more videos during Navratri. Wishing all of you a very happy Navratri and Dasara once again. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more interesting updates. Stay safe, stay home. Bye bye.